Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be covering the Super Bowl 58, a statue unveiled in Kobe Bryant's honor, U.S. food that is banned in other countries, and make sure you stick around for later in the show when we'll be diving into the oddities of the day. Before we start, I'd like to ask that you like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. Let's put your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. Good morning / afternoon to you, Tate.
Hello, Miss Faith. How are you doing? See,
well.
I was listening to you do the rundown, and I'm like, crap, she's going to do it again. Yesterday, we started talking about Pop-Tarts and everything else. By the end, I was hungry. Now we're talking about foods banned and going to be talking about foods banned in other countries, which most of those foods that are banned in Europe, I can't get because I'm in Europe.
Yeah.
And I miss them.
Yeah. It's a long list too.
It's
so
crazy.
long.
It is absolutely crazy. Yeah. And you realize how unhealthy some of the food is in America. But I love it. Anyway, I'll let you keep going here.
All right, guys. Well, we have a guest today on our show. We have Mr. Nelson from the GSMC Basketball Podcast joining us today. How are you doing, Nelson?
I'm doing good. I mean, it's pretty early, so not exactly what I'm used to, but
it is very
adapted.
Early, yeah.
Mr. Nelson. Okay, first off, Nelson is the show host for the GSMC Basketball Podcast. Nelson's been kind of busy because the NBA trade deadline was going on. So you killed it. He absolutely killed it. He was staying on top of all the trades as we were coming in. So that had to be nerve-wracking. And then realizing that, hey, I got to get up early in the morning at the crack of dawn to do another show this morning. So I kind of dig that. So
grind don't stop. Doesn't stop.
Yeah, that's very true. Grind does not stop. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and dive into our first segment of the day, which has been the talk for the entire week. I'm sure everybody's probably tired of hearing about Super Bowl 58, as I am getting pretty tired of talking about Super Bowl 58.
I'm not.
I'm so fired up for this.
No, I'm
this
very
Super
excited.
Bowl.
I'm very excited to watch the game. I'm excited for the game. It's just, you run out of stuff to talk about when the game hasn't happened yet. So
I mean, the media doesn't stop talking about Taylor Swift, so you can just go that way.
See,
we've covered her a lot.
That's the thing that's weird about this Super Bowl is there is a different dynamic. Like, I've covered the Super Bowl working for other broadcast companies and other radio stations and things. But this year, there is an extra layer, which is the Taylor Swift effect, which is whether it's how much you love her, how much you hate her, how much you don't like the coverage. It's been very interesting. So very different. It has actually made me support Taylor Swift even more because I feel like she's been getting a lot of undue hate. So that's been kind of my take as well.
I'm a little bit opposite towards that. Like, I'm sort of much more against Taylor Swift now. I'm not saying that I don't like her, and I'm saying that, like, because I do, but it's just like there's so much coverage with her right now, and like I just want to watch my football. Like, I know I'm the basketball show host, but like I love watching my football every Sunday, Thursday, Monday, whenever I can. But it's just like putting Taylor Swift on the camera every single time is just it's interfering. And it's odd.
All right, go ahead.
I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan when it comes to her music, but I support women in their grind era, and Taylor Swift is in her grind era right now. Also, it's been proven she's only been shown maybe 30 seconds during each game, so she really hasn't gotten a lot of coverage. So, but anyway.
Yeah, they've been. Yeah, all right, go ahead. And when you talk about the Taylor Swift grind, that kind of goes with the grind. When I think of the grind and people hard work at their craft, the first person comes to mind is Kobe Bryant. And I'm really excited about talking about Kobe in the next segment. So it made me think of that as you were bringing that in. Anyway, go ahead, Miss Faith. We didn't mean to jump ahead of you here.
Alrighty. The Chiefs and the 49ers are set for Super Bowl 54 rematch in Super Bowl 58, while Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes go for the overall repeat and another win over the same Super Bowl opponent. San Francisco will look to average a 31-20 loss from 4 seasons ago. Once again, the Chiefs will be the designated home team in Las Vegas on February 11th. They will also try to do what they couldn't in Super Bowl 55 when they lost their chance to become back-to-back NFL champions. There is one big change. Kansas City ended up as a 1.5-point favor over San Francisco in Super Bowl 54. This time, the 49ers open as a 2-point favorite with the over and under set for a point total of 48. Will the 49ers come through and cover that small spread, or will the Chiefs deny them for a second time in 5 Super Bowls?
Okay, I'm gonna go first, and then I'll bounce it back to Faith because Faith has to give her prediction, and then we're gonna round that. We're gonna stick the dismount with Nelson, and the key is Nelson has been the basketball host, so he hasn't had a chance to really go on air and actually talk about the Super Bowl. So this is his opportunity. This is his candy. It's his opportunity to actually talk about the Super Bowl, not this NBA trade deadline stuff, but the Super Bowl. Okay, Nelson, here's my take on this Super Bowl. First off, you have the 2 teams that at the beginning of the year, most people thought it was going to be at the beginning of the year, the Super Bowl was going to be Kansas City versus San Francisco. There was a couple of speed bumps in there where Kansas City's offense kind of took a little bit of a slide, and the receivers were dropping passes, and they looked more vulnerable than ever. But when the season ended and the smoke cleared, Kansas City was still there. No one's surprised that the 49ers are there. Now, I'm going to give you my take on how I see this going to go. I think this could be one of the best Super Bowls of all time. I think both teams have a great opportunity here. But I start looking at it and I say, and it has nothing to do with Patrick Mahomes. I say, you're going to give Andy Reid 2 weeks to prepare. That's dangerous. Number 2, I look at that defense. The Kansas City defense is just absolutely stellar, and they're peaking at the right time. They finished the season on a tear where they were super strong, rolled into the playoffs, looked almost unstoppable, and then rolled and now into the Super Bowl. But when I look at the 49ers have been quite a solid team all year. And the reason why I'm taking Kansas City is in these playoffs, I kind of feel like the 49ers have started these games kind of flat, where they let Green Bay come out, hit them in the mouth. They let Detroit come in, hit them in the mouth, and then they had to recover and come back down the stretch and win these games.
There was a lot of fluky stuff that ended up happening in those games too. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Oh, no. I absolutely. But part of being a great team is that luck and that flukiness. And I'm going to turn it over to you. But I see it this way. If the 49ers come in and they start off slow and they allow Kansas City to get a lead, that defense isn't going to give it back. Nor do I see Patrick Mahomes giving it away. So that's why I'm kind of leaning toward Kansas City, and I'm taking Kansas City in a close win. Faith has it razor thin. I'm going to toss it back to Faith. We're like I said, you're sticking to dismount. Faith, give them your take on what you were saying.
Like Tate was saying, how the 49ers played with Green Bay and the Lions. I just don't really see the 49ers winning this year. Also, I'm still a little salty about the Lions losing to the 49ers, so I don't want to root for the 49ers.
Wait. I apologize about cutting you off.
Yeah.
Faith was convinced the
I
Lions
was.
were going to the Super Bowl.
I was
The
so
Lions.
No way.
And
No way.
I was honestly, even with a minute left in that game, I was like, there's a small chance. There's a very small chance that they could pull through, and then it didn't happen, and I was very, very
In
upset.
Jared Goff, we trust.
So
Listen, she was drinking that Kool-Aid. She had her pinky out. She was drinking the Kool-Aid strong that the Lions were going to get there.
No, because they were doing so
They
well.
were. They were killing it.
And it just seems like from watching them, the 49ers play with the Packers and then watching them play with the Lions, it's just kind of like they don't really do anything. And then, after halftime, it's like, oh, well, we got to catch up now. And, so they do that. So if they're going to play the way they've been playing with the Packers and the Lions, I don't see anything happening because the Kansas City Chiefs defense is just phenomenal. I mean, watching them play with the Ravens, that was a game. Watching them play with the Ravens, because you could tell by like third quarter, both defenses were absolutely exhausted, and I honestly thought the score was going to be a lot higher than what it was for that game. So, like Tate said, if the 49ers play the way they played the past two games, the Chiefs are just not going to let them come back afterwards. So.
All right, Mr. Nelson. You've been waiting to talk about that about football. Let's hear your take on it.
Yeah, it's the first time I get to talk about football since, I do the basketball podcast. So again, like I have faith in Patrick Mahomes, and like I just think he's the much better quarterback compared to Brock Purdy. So I'm going to go with him in the end of the day, because when the going gets tough and like when you need something, like he's going to be there and he's going to provide for the team. And the defense this year, like he doesn't have to worry about it as much as he had to worry about previous years. How like most of the time when he won the Super Bowl and when he made it far, his defenses were usually lacking sometimes, and it was up to him to like win the game in the end. And so because of that, and because like now that there's actual defense, I think that relieves pressure from Mahomes and relieves pressure from Kelsey. But at the same time, they shouldn't like go into this game thinking like, oh, we're the Chiefs, we're going to win this easily, because I mean, Christian McCaffrey just won Offensive Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. So I think he's actually going to open up the game scoring. I think he's going to open up the game with a rushing touchdown. But the game's going to be very competitive. But I still got the Chiefs going in.
Now, here's a question that I have. The 49ers, they have weapons everywhere. Do you think, number one, that they can get out to an early lead on the Chiefs? Or do you think they're going to kind of repeat what they did the last two games, where they're going to start slow? Because if they start slow, I don't see how they can win this game. What do you say about how the game's going to start? Because I think that's the key.
They're definitely going to open up with a McCaffrey touchdown. They almost always end up with a McCaffrey touchdown. So it's really tough, because like the Chiefs defense is really good, but at the same time, the Niners offense is also really good. So, but given how Brock Purdy's their quarterback, I am not a big Brock Purdy fan. So I think maybe they're going to start out a little bit slow, given how good the Chiefs defense is. And then that'll allow the Chiefs to take the lead early on in the game. And at that point, it's just about holding the lead if you're the Chiefs.
Okay. Now, I'm going to say this. The 49ers are no slouch. And when you look at the 49ers have this team that has weapons everywhere and an incredibly balanced team. They're not going to make the same mistakes that, let's say, the Ravens did, which was to abandon the run, only having 6 runs. I think it was in the first half, but barely running. The 49ers and Shanahan, that zone running scheme is the best in the NFL. And that's where, if there's going to be a weakness on that Kansas City defense, it's going to be the run stopping. The 49ers will be able to run on the Kansas City Chiefs, But if they can really run and Christian McCaffrey starts going off, it could be a long day for the Chiefs. Do you agree with that,
McCaffrey can
Faith?
really run.
Yes. Do you agree
McCaffrey
with
can
that
really
as well?
run.
Yes, he can.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I feel like, if the 49ers do what they're supposed to do and haven't been doing what they've been doing, I feel like they could give the Chiefs a run for their money. But Patrick Mahomes is just really, really good.
Patrick Mahomes does Patrick Mahomes thing.
He's gonna be the greatest. He is, mark my words, he is going to be marked as the greatest quarterback when his career is over.
That's another conversation we can have at another day, because I agree he's on the way. You were saying about the fact that you're not a Brock Purdy fan. I look at Brock Purdy as an incredibly competent quarterback. I'm not saying that he's not a great quarterback. I mean, I think he is definitely super competent. But I think if Brock Purdy gets confidence, he will carve you up and it will be an ugly day. But you can put pressure on Brock Purdy and you can shake him. And if he gets shook, he will turn the ball over. How do you feel about that? Okay, go ahead.
I feel Brock Purdy just needs a few years and he'll be a lot better.
Oh, yes.
Than he is now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was an MVP candidate. Now I think I could see him only getting better.
Mm-hmm.
But in this game, Nelson, do you think that Kansas City's defense can actually put pressure on him and make him make mistakes? How do you see it with Brock Purdy? I know you were saying you're not a big fan, so I wanted you to elaborate a little bit on that as well.
Well, with their defensive line, like San Fran's defensive line, I'm not entirely sure if they'll be able to get pressure, but the Chiefs' defensive line is actually really good. So maybe they can, maybe they can't. It's really difficult to tell. But given how you wanted me to elaborate more on why I'm not a Brock Purdy. So
not necessarily about why you're not a Brock Purdy fan, but about do you see this game? Kind of looking into your crystal ball here, do you see Kansas City being able to put pressure on Brock Purdy? And if that pressure is there, do you think Brock Purdy will make these mistakes? Because that's the key to the game. I think it's an even game, except for more likely I could see Brock Purdy making a mistake. How do you see it?
Yeah, the game probably is going to come down to Brock Purdy making the right decisions, making the right reads, and exactly what plays he's going to make and what he's going to run with. Because I feel like in this game they're going to rely on McCaffrey a lot more than they're going to rely on Brock Purdy. I feel it because again, I just don't trust Brock Purdy. The offense that he has is just too good to fail. So put any quarterback in that system and they're going to do the same thing. Jimmy Garoppolo was the quarterback at one point, and he took the San Fran to the Super Bowl as well. So I
definitely think there's a certain type of quarterback that would do incredibly well in that San Francisco offense, and having that zone runs will really makes life easier. I'm not going to go as far as say any quarterback can. But there is definitely a lot more quarterbacks can do a lot better in that system than, let's say, some other systems.
The offense is just too good to fail. Just look at all the stars that they have.
They're loaded in all the right ways.
Exactly.
I do agree with you on that one.
Most of the time, he doesn't even have to we talked about the Lions game. The game was over the second I saw that fluky catch from Brandon Ayuk that should have been an interception.
Yes.
That was the most ridiculous catch I've ever seen. And it's Brock should have thrown an interception, but no, that's a 50-yard reception, and it sets them up for a touchdown, and the Lions couldn't recover after that.
But here's something. Good teams don't make mistakes, but great teams get lucky. Mm-hmm. And that is the way it is. And sometimes, if they go through and they win this, part of that path is going to be some of those lucky plays. And I know that kind of stings when you see, but great teams get lucky sometimes as well. Faith has given her prediction. She predicts it's going to be a close game, about a field goal difference. Mm-hmm. I had it about a 10 the 12-point difference with Kansas City. Give me a score for the game, Nelson.
Score for the game. Okay, that's going to be tough. I think the game's going to end 20-17. The Chiefs.
Oh,
They're
wow.
going to win by a field goal.
Oh, wow. So you got it as a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
Given with how that the Chiefs have been playing recently, like in this postseason, they have not been very well. They have not been very good offensively. Is Kadarius Toney playing in this Super Bowl?
No, I don't. You know what? That is a great question. I don't know. Right now, I don't think he's going to, but I'm not sure.
All
That
right,
has
so
not
if
been
he's
said.
in the lineup, then the Chiefs are losing. As a Giants fan, if he's in the lineup, the Chiefs are losing.
That
But
is
if he's not in the
hilarious.
lineup, then 2017. If he is,
Okay.
it's going to be 7-35.
Okay, and then I'm gonna end this segment on my crazy prop bet with Faith that the halftime show is gonna be going, Usher's
my
gonna be
gosh.
killing it, and then come out
Taylor
of the floor, Taylor Swift. It's gonna be a Taylor Swift Usher
Tate is
song.
very
We're
adamant
gonna
on
do
the
it.
fact that Taylor
That is
Swift is going
happening.
to show up on the halftime show. I told him it's
I'm,
That's
I'm
gonna
scared.
happen.
I'm scared if that does
That's
happen.
my ultimate prop bet right there. So, all right. I'll
Alrighty,
let you-
guys. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about a Kobe Bryant statue that was unveiled outside the Crypto.com arena.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about Super Bowl 58, and now we're going to be discussing the Kobe Bryant statue that was unveiled outside the Crypto.com arena. But before we do that, I just wanted to remind you guys that you like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from the viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. This puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show.
Okay, can I add one more thing before you start?
Yes.
For the audience, if you like this show and you're getting to know Nelson here, check out that GSMC Basketball Podcast.
Yes,
Nelson
shout out
has
to
some
the
very unique
basketball
takes.
podcast. Yes.
12:30 to 2 every single day.
I love it. Getting that time in there. I like it. See, but he's saying 12:32. That's Eastern time. I'm over here thinking Greenwich Mean Time over here. It's 12:30 right now. So no matter what
Alrighty.
time zone, you're 12:30. You're in there already.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, a Kobe Bryant statue has been unveiled outside the Crypto.com arena. Kobe Bryant's legacy has been immortalized, this time outside the house that Kobe built. The statue commemorating the late Lakers star was unveiled Thursday outside the Crypto.com arena, formerly the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles. Thursday held special significance for the unveiling of Bryant's statue, chosen in honor of the numerology associated with the date 2/8/24. Notably, the number 2 was a tribute to Gianna Bryant's jersey number, while Kobe himself had iconic associations with the number 8 and 24 during his career. Gianna and her father were among 9 people killed in a January 2020 helicopter crash in the mountains northwest of Los Angeles. Before we start, I would like to acknowledge the other people who passed away in the helicopter crash. We have Gianna Bryant, John Altobelli, Kiri Altobelli, Alyssa Altobelli, Christina Mauser, Sarah Chester, Peyton Chester, and Ara Zobanya, I believe. So.
Okay. You know something, you just did something that I have not seen anyone else do.
Yeah.
And that is, a lot of times people don't even realize that there was a lot more people that passed during that time than just Kobe and Gigi. So I love that you did that. Now, we're talking about Kobe and his legacy, the fact that they're retiring this and doing the statue. Kobe and Magic, I've always had this battle in my head. Who is my favorite Laker? And they've always been neck and neck to me. I love Kobe. Kobe has just been awesome. And the tragedy of losing Kobe was just a shocker. And my 2 all-time favorite players have 2 of the most heartbreaking, heart-crushing moments for me in sports. I remember when Magic came and announced that he had HIV, and thinking that you were going to lose Magic, and then actually losing Kobe. So for me, those are my Mount Rushmore of most loved basketball players. I love the fact that someone thought about, hey, if we're going to bring a statue up, bring it and represent the whole Bryant family. Gigi's number 2, then 8 and 24. I thought that was amazing. So Kobe, the thing with Kobe's had this amazing career, and I know, I've watched Nelson's show a million times, so I understand where he ranks Kobe. I always have a battle between Kobe, Kareem, LeBron, and Jordan, as in who's the number 1 player of all time. That's in my eyes, that's my big 4. And you can put them in any kind of order you want. But when you look at what Kobe, his legacy, his basketball legacy, it's unquestioned. But Kobe's post-career, he had a lifetime in a very short period of time. When he created the program where he kind of made his own little Shark Tank, helping out other investors in the area and investing in their businesses, I thought that was amazing. What he did with was it an Emmy that he won with his production company? How he's helped mentor some of the great players in the NBA right now. His legacy is living on. And so many of these players right now. I'm still in this one from you, Nelson, but I'm going to I would have brought it up as well, but I just heard you talking about this. How he changed LeBron and Dwayne Wade, and how they were talking about how watching Kobe practice and everything made it like his dedication to his craft is second to none. I admire that. Getting up, you talked about it, getting up at 3:00, and then LeBron and Dwayne Wade seeing that, or watching a story of Richard Hamilton talking about how when Kobe was a high school player, and how he was there was another kid that was supposed to be better than Kobe and ranked higher than Kobe, and the night before Kobe couldn't sleep because he couldn't wait to get out there. He was going to show who's the best guy. Or them Dwayne Wade talking about stories about Pau Gasol was Kobe's best friend, and they're playing, I think it was an Olympics or an international play, and how he told those guys he's going to run straight through Pau Gasol and blow him up. On the court, it wasn't any best friends. He loved Pau Gasol, but he was going to put it all out on the line for his craft, being a hard worker. And for myself, one of the things is I've worked incredibly hard to reach where I've made it in life. And I always I try to put my all into it and always apply myself. And I always see people that they just do just enough, barely enough. And I look at Kobe, that Mamba mentality of really just always applying yourself. And that's what separates Kobe and a lot of other people from the average. And so I always love that. I absolutely love that they retired his number. I love that he now has numbers. This is true. He had two Hall of Fame careers with two different numbers. Nelson, I'm going to turn it over to you next.
Okay, so this is much more my field of expertise. But did you guys know that he's getting 2 more statues?
No, I did not know.
No.
Yeah, that's what they revealed that in the unveiling. He's getting 2 more statues. One of them with number 24, and the other one with Gigi in there as well.
Oh no, I didn't know that. Okay, this is the seed. So this is why we have the basketball guy on our show, because I didn't know that at all. Did you know that, Faith?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's what they were talking about when they were about to reveal this first one, because like this one is sort of symbolic of him like walking off of his 81-point game, because like he was pointing up in the sky. So that's one iconic moment. I think the second one is going to be a pose of him averaging when he dropped 60 in his final game. So like, because Mamba out, because that one was very iconic. So I think that's going to be the next pose. And then the other one is probably going to be like him when he was hugging Gigi. I think we've all seen that picture when Gigi was like very small, and like it's like Kobe looking down and hugging her and that. So I think it's a great inclusion to like include Gianna and with Kobe Bryant's legacy.
That's awesome. So okay. You've talked about this on your show, but not on our show. So talk about your feelings of Kobe. Where does he rank as far as your favorite players? What are your favorite moments?
All right. So Kobe was the entire reason why I even got into basketball. And I'm sure that could be said with a lot of people, but like he was the reason why I became like obsessed with the game of basketball. And like I know I'm usually a LeBron fan, but I'm not I'm a Kobe and a LeBron fan, but I'm not delusional. And like I know LeBron is like better, but Kobe is definitely up there. I got Kobe being I have him top 3, which is a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't agree with that whatsoever, because my top 3 is LeBron, Michael Jordan, and then Kobe. But he's top 3.
Mine is crazy because I don't have Jordan in my top 3.
Huh?
Yes, that's right. We'll talk about that at a later date. One day I'll come on your show and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we need to talk about that, because who, what, where? I've never heard of this. That's actually rolling. Honestly, unless if it's Kareem, then like I think that might make sense. But yeah, so again, with like his mentality, it's like it's so inspirational. His story's so inspirational. Like the craft that he puts in everything that he does, like not just basketball, but he wrote a book. Like he wrote several books. Now that I think about it, I read the book Mamba Mentality, and with how detailed it was, like you can tell there would be nights where he would never sleep because he was just trying to figure out, how am I going to guard T-Mac? How am I going to guard Kevin Durant? All these types of things. And it's like, it makes you think that like he makes you think that you're doing things wrong. Like he makes you think that like, wow, especially like you mentioned LeBron and D Wade, like with Team USA. Like I'd covered this in my own podcast, but I'll do it again. But essentially, like when LeBron and D Wade, when they saw that Kobe was waking up at 3:00 in the morning to work out and to put work in, and it amazed them so much that they needed to like they had to be part of that. Like they needed to show Kobe that like they're also dedicated to their craft, and they're also like, and that sort of it changed their whole perspective on how they worked out and how they thought the game worked, because it was like, Jesus, Kobe's waking up at 3:00 in the morning, doing all these types of things, working out, and I'm sitting here sleeping. Like, I should be in the gym with him, especially since they were on a mission, like trying to bring back the gold to Team USA. They were called the Redeem Team for a reason, and like he makes you think that like you're going about life completely wrong. Like, if you're not more dedicated than me, what are you doing?
See, and for a guy that starts his day at 3, 4 in the morning every day, I understand this.
It's like, how does he sleep?
No, I'm just saying, that's me. I start my day at 3, 4. I don't sleep. I'm a vampire. I don't sleep. Jesus. Most times I'm at the office until 9, 10 in the morning at night, sometimes later, and then I'm up by 3, 4. Like, I've slept. If I'm up at 4, I've slept in. And Faith is the opposite.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Since starting this show, I get up at 5:00 every morning, and so I am in bed by like 8. So I'm like big granny now.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult with me because like there's constant games going on right now, like with NBA basketball. So like with that in mind, it's like I gotta stay up, and I stayed up watching. I watched half of the Lakers game. I didn't watch the entirety of the Lakers game just because like I had to be up so early. But normally I would watch till the end. Just so I could like see the results, because I do recaps on my show, so like to get a better idea of like where the team should be going, like, and their projections and like things of that nature.
Now, Faith, how do you feel about the statue and everything of Kobe?
I think it's a nice tribute to honor him. I don't really watch basketball. I'm gonna try to get better about that, especially now that I work on a sports podcast.
That's one of our assignments, is to get a little into that basketball.
But for me, I remember I believe I was in class one day when that news got out that he had passed away, and campus was silent. Honestly, it was just like,
yeah.
It was insane that it happened. And honestly, I feel like that was just the start of a really terrible year, because that was when the pandemic happened as well. And so I think it's a great way to acknowledge Kobe Bryant and all that he has done. But also I feel like it's kind of a little bit of a tribute to the really crappy year we had too, honestly, in my opinion.
Here's a weird thing about this. I had flown into Los Angeles. It was shortly after Kobe had passed. Mm-hmm. And I remember there was a newspaper. It just was sitting on a table, and I grabbed it. And I looked at the newspaper, and it was about Kobe's passing. And there was an article about there was 5 cases of COVID that had been caught in the U.S. Mm-hmm. 5. And you're kind of right. It did start this snowball of all this crazy stuff that happened that year. Mm-hmm. So interesting take.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to say your sad goodbyes to our brother from another now over here, Mr. Nelson?
I mean, now is actually like Jesus, it's 8:00 almost around here. So yeah, I guess it's goodbye for now. I mean, I'm going to be live at 12:30 again. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about the trade deadline, the results of the trade deadline, and I'm going to bring up the Kobe statue as well, along with the Lakers game that recently happened. I'm really upset that they lost in those jerseys. Very upset. And I'm sure Kobe's punching the air right now in heaven. Like, Jesus, these Lakers.
About the Mamba jerseys, they're black Mamba jerseys, which everyone loves.
The Mamba jersey. Everyone got them in attendance, actually.
I didn't know that. That's awesome. So
yeah, they got number 8.
That's awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate having you on. I love hearing your take on football as well. So
yeah, appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, of course. All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be discussing food that is available in the U.S. but banned in other countries. Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were discussing the Kobe Bryant statue that was unveiled outside the Crypto.com arena. And now we're going to be talking about U.S. foods that are banned in other countries, which it's a long list. And honestly, a lot of this food I eat and really enjoy. So,
okay.
Ooh.
I mean, before you're going to dive into this, everything okay?
Yeah, I had to, sorry.
Okay. I'm going to point out a fact. First off, I'm an American who lives in Europe.
Yeah.
I absolutely love American food. I'm also an American who, when I moved to Europe, I was probably about 240. About 240, 250. I weigh right now about 180 pounds, 170, between 175, 180 pounds. There is a difference in the food here.
Yeah.
The food is really good here, but it's not as good as that American food. I'm sorry.
It's because it's
my
not
Portuguese
filled
people.
with preservatives.
You know, I like my poisonous sprinkles on my food or whatever it is, because that American food is so good. But I cannot lie. I have definitely dropped a lot. So go ahead and let's talk about this, Faith.
Okay, well, first, so when I was reading about this, I did not know this. California has become the first state in the nation to ban the use of 4 food additives, excuse me, my goodness, commonly found in thousands of products across the United States, including cereals, sodas, and candies. It's known as the Skittles ban. Governor Gavin Newsom had signed the law misleadingly known as the Skittles ban, which will prohibit the manufacture, sale, or distribution of brominated vegetable oil,
Brominated vegetable oil, yes.
Yeah, potassium bromate.
I bet you yellow 5 and red 40. I bet you those.
Red dye 3 is in this list, yeah.
Okay.
These chemicals are used in as many as 12,000 food products across the country, despite never having been approved for consumption by the Food and Drug Administration. In a signing message, Newsom said that the law is a positive step forward until the FDA reviews and establishes national regulations on the use of the additives. The law will take effect in 2027 to give companies time to revise their recipes to exclude the harmful chemicals. So I guess...
I told you, big difference, isn't it?
I guess, eat all the Skittles you can with the harmful additives until 2027, because it's going to change.
Okay.
At least in California. Well.
Okay, because I'm sure you're going to switch over and start giving some of the list, but can I add some things in here?
Yeah.
As an American moving to Europe, the first thing that really it was a hard adjustment to is when I was in America, I had the regular American refrigerator with the double doors and the 2 doors up under, the 2 drawers up under it. I had one in my kitchen, one in my garage, and then I had a box freezer in my garage as well. And so always used to always having extra food and snacks and everything in your refrigerator. And then I came to move to Europe. And the refrigerators are narrow. And the first time I went to go grocery shopping, we came back and we're in trouble. All of a sudden, we have more food than our refrigerator can hold. And we're like, what the heck is it? So the first time we were grocery shopping, I had to borrow space in my buddy's refrigerator because we had bought too much, couldn't fit into the refrigerator. Wow. Because the refrigerators in Europe are so much smaller. People here, they go to the grocery store not once a week or once a month. They go every single day. It's just part of the routine. you go before in the morning, you go to the grocery store, or after work, you go to the grocery store. It's an everyday thing. It's rarely even, it's just part of your routine. So the refrigerators are smaller. The second thing that was really weird for me living here was the fact that if you buy stuff, you're used to, hey, you buy stuff, you buy bread for the next 2 or 3 weeks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that here, because you'll be like, oh yeah, and then you look at your bread and it's all moldy and it goes bad so fast because all the preservatives that are in the American food are not in there. And so things go bad faster, and then things are not like Skittles are bright red and colorful and just like, dang, I can't wait to get into them. And they're not, and they're not as pretty. So adjusting. All right, go ahead. Let me hear some of the things that you're talking about. I know a lot of these.
So the first one on the list that really has me rethinking food that I enjoy. Twinkies. I love Twinkies.
Come on, Faith. Everyone knows. Everyone knows you can get a Twinkie and like you can buy a Twinkie when you're 5 and still eat it when you're 65. Of course the Twinkie gonna get banned here.
Yeah, Twinkies, it's the yellow 5 that is really bad for you, and the Twinkie.
And it's incredibly bad for you. You're not getting a Twinkie here at all.
I love Twinkies. All right, we have stovetop stuffing. So stuffing that you would make for Thanksgiving.
No, wait. I gotta interrupt you on this one.
Yeah.
Please tell me you're not using stovetop stuffing on Thanksgiving.
I don't. Really
Come on.
I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving, so.
If you are using stovetop stuffing for your Thanksgiving stuffing, you need to start watching. Yeah, you step your game up a little bit. But stovetop stuffing, it is kind of tasty though. I do like it.
I don't know if I've ever. I think every time I've done Thanksgiving, somebody's always like made the stuffing like homemade. So I don't think I've ever had. Okay. Coffee creamer. That one. My wife had a hard time adjusting to that. Yeah, it's banned in Austria, Hungary, and several Scandinavian countries. And I'm assuming since you guys can't find it, it's banned in some European countries as well.
Those are all European countries as well. But when you go to the store, the traditional coffee creamers that you see in America, they're just not on the shelves here at all.
Like milk, right?
Well, they do. My wife uses heavy cream, and that's an adjustment because they have like in the milk and the heavy cream in America, they have the non-clotting agents in the milk so that it's nice and smooth and silky. That's
actually on the list.
Yes. So you start pouring the heavy cream and lumps start coming out. And it's see? Because you like these little chemicals that make it all nice and smooth and creamy and silky. You start pouring heavy cream and it's like clump, clump, clump. And it's like, whoa, adjustment.
Yeah. This one really hit me too. Ritz crackers. Ritz crackers is banned in Australia, Switzerland, Hungary, Iceland, Norway, and Denmark because of hydrogenated cottonseed oils. I love Ritz crackers.
We all love Ritz crackers.
With the
They're
little
delicious.
spray cheese.
Girl, listen. The Ritz crackers aren't really a cracker. They're bad for you. The spray cheese is bad for you too.
I know the spray cheese is bad for you.
That stuff's delicious.
And this is why people in the United States have problems with their hearts, problems with their weight. This is why our obesity rate is the highest in the world.
That stuff, like you take a Ritz cracker before it even touches your tongue, you taste the salt and the butter and
you're just
everything.
like,
that stuff's, like I said, it's it's not
delicious.
no, it's not good. It's not tasty. That stuff's delicious.
So good. I know,
And you
I
can't
love
get
those
it here.
guys.
You cannot. It is not the same.
Also banned is U.S. pork and prepackaged ground beef.
Oh, wow.
U.S.
Yes.
U.S. pork has I don't even know how to say that. If you don't know how to say it and it's in your food, you probably shouldn't eat it. Let me just say that.
Okay.
Anyway, it's
I was going to say, keep on with the beef and the pork,
Yeah.
because I have a story with this one as well.
It's some animal feed additive used in U.S. pigs, and it's linked to several major health issues in humans and animals. The U.S. pork is banned in China, Russia, and the EU. And then the prepackaged ground beef is essentially the pink slime that you find in prepackaged beef. So remember, if you guys don't remember, there's this whole thing with McDonald's and them using pink slime in their food, yada yada. So it's essentially that.
Most people, I don't even know what you're talking about pink slime in the
Pink
food.
slime?
So you got to clarify. No yada yada here. I need to know this
Yada,
as
yada,
well.
yada.
And then I just yada yada yada. No.
Yeah.
I need to know about the pink slime. I do have a story on this one. So go ahead. I want to hear about the pink slime first.
I think the pink slime is basically just like everything kind of like grounded up together, and then it makes like a little like a slimy texture. But the pink slime that you find in prepackaged beef is a beef byproduct prepared with ammonia gas and used as a filler in ground beef. The U.S. beef is banned in the EU.
Okay, here's the thing. I know what you're talking about here.
Yeah.
American beef, when you ground up ground beef or you do a steak, over time, they don't stay that beautiful red color. It kind of starts turning a little brown and things of that nature. And Americans want their beef to look, that red color. Like that's a sign of freshness. And so they pump that chemical in there. They also put more water in their meat so it can be a lot more bigger and fluffier. But there's a difference. That stuff, again, is delicious. When I first moved to Europe, I am a hamburger super freak. I love my hamburgers. Like I said, hamburger super freak.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to this restaurant. I'm like, yeah, I want that burger. It looked all nice. And I got the burger and I bit into it. And I'm like, what is this? And it didn't taste good. And I'm like, I turned to my wife and I'm like, try this. And she's like, no, it don't taste right. And luckily I had another friend that we had went to dinner with, and I asked them, they were like, no, it's good. And I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, okay.
It's good.
So I took 2 bites out of my burger and that was it. And I worked on my French fries and I left that burger. And then I went to another place and the burger was like, ugh. And I went to another place and it was like, blah, yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada, yada.
And then one day I went to this grocery store. It's a gourmet grocery store called Abalonia, which has that's the international store. And I went there and I was talking to one of the butchers and I'm like, I don't really like the burgers here. And so he explained. He's like, there's a difference. The chemicals are missing. None of the stuff that keeps it staying red is there. And then also American beef is sweeter because they finish their beef off with grain and extra. They put extra, sometimes even sweeteners into the burgers, so that American beef tends to be a little sweeter, where like grass-fed Australian beef or Brazilian beef or Portuguese beef tends to be a lot more tinier because they're grass-fed and they're not finished with grain, so they taste different. And so what the butcher did was they actually sell beef by the country. So there's American beef is at this price, Portuguese beef is at this price, Australian beef is at this price, Brazilians at another price. And so I bought a steak from American steak, and I bought a Brazilian steak. No, it was a Portuguese steak. And I grilled them up and tasted them, and it was like the steak from America. I was like, okay, I can tell an American steak, there's a difference than a Brazilian or a Portuguese. I've tried them all now, and I can tell the country from where the beef comes from. And the American beef, it does taste sweeter. It is so tasty and juicy, and it's better. I have now gotten to the point where, as a person who's been living in Europe for a little while, I can handle eating a burger from here now, and it's like, oh, this is a good burger. But I go home, and you get that American burger. I turn the cap backwards and I just dive in because it is, again, delicious.
That's so crazy.
Oh no, there's a difference. There's a major difference. Keep on going.
All right, I'll name a few more. Swiss rolls, maraschino cherries.
Yes.
Fruit Loops. So
Okay, Fruit Loops. I love Fruit Loops.
I've never really liked Fruit Loops, honestly.
Oh yeah, no, I love Fruit Loops. Fruit Loops and Apple Jacks. I got a soft spot for them. But the Fruit Loops in America, they all taste all the colors are the same flavor. And that flavor is delicious. But that's my theme for this comment.
Delicious.
I love my American food. I'm just gonna keep it real. The seafood, Portuguese seafood is second to none. But that American bad food, everybody likes the bad guy, and I like the bad food. Fruit Loops here, I had my niece come to visit us here, and she wanted Fruit Loops. So we bought her the Fruit Loops, and they're not as color. They're like, the orange isn't quite as orange. Like the American orange Fruit Loop is like boom. The red ones are boom. The colors are a lot duller, and the sweetness is not the same. The American Fruit Loop is far superior. Now, this is what I'm gonna warn everyone: when you come to Portugal, you see the desserts. And the desserts in Portugal look so delicious. Oh my God, they look unreal. And a friend of mine, her mom made some of these amazing looking cakes. And I'm like, today is cheat day. So I didn't cut a slice, I cut a wedge. And I cut another wedge out of the other one. And it's like, I don't have time. A brother don't have time for slices. I'm taking wedges. And then I dove in, and it was like someone made a cake and they forgot, like it called for 3 cups of sugar, and she put the first cup in, and then the phone rang and she ended up taking a call and forgot to put the next 2 cups of sugar in there, because all these cakes were like kind of sweet, where the American cakes, it's no kind of about it. They are straight up sweet and tasty. Mm-hmm. But this Portuguese ones, they're like, okay, thank you for your pastry.
The one that really upset me was maraschino cherries. I love maraschino cherries. Now, when we're talking delicious, maraschino cherries are delicious to me.
Can't even find them.
Every time I order a beverage, an alcoholic beverage, I always request grenadine and maraschino cherries in it. So I do my rum and cherry Coke, my Shirley Temple, a grown-up Shirley Temple. Every time I always request maraschino cherries in it, because I pop maraschino cherries like it's candy. I love maraschino cherries.
Okay, I got a question for you here, because this is gonna tell you why they're banned. Mm-hmm. Have you ever gone into someone's backyard or somewhere, gone to a farm and seen a cherry?
Like a real cherry?
A real cherry.
Yeah, I've seen.
Have you gone to the grocery store?
Yes.
Do you ever see a fresh cherry that looks like one of those cherries? They're red. They're glowing. They're so red. They're radioactive. They're just like, the stem is all red and everything. Cherries don't look that way.
No, they don't. Yeah,
that's
maraschino
because
cherries,
they put that red dye that makes it make you grow an extra head out of your neck.
Maraschino cherries have red 40 in it, and red 40 has been linked to allergies, migraines, and mental disorders in children, which I get a lot of migraines, so maybe that's why.
So, is there, after you had your third Shirley Temple and you got a headache and you're over there twitching in the corner,
I do get.
Now you know why.
I know. I do get headaches after I eat a bunch of maraschino cherries, so maybe I should cut back on those.
And you're wonder why you're twitching in the corner and everything, because you didn't had a whole jar of maraschino cherries. You're an OD'd on them.
All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into our oddities of the day.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about food that is available in the U.S. but is banned in other countries, and now we're going to dive into...
Can I interrupt just for a quick second? I just want to share with the audience. While we were on break, I sent Faith a message, and it said, "It's crazy how bad the food is in the U.S." And she says, "Gosh, I know, I gotta stop." And I was about to reply back, "I'm not. As soon as I get to America, I'm tearing into that stuff." Like when I went home, the first thing I bought, like the Welch's gummy treats. I bought some Skittles.
Those are good.
Oh, yes.
Welch's gummies.
And then I swung by McDonald's and got me a Big Mac. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm.
McDonald's is my guilty pleasure. I love McDonald's. I always get a quarter pounder with cheese with a large fry and a large Sprite. And then if I'm feeling extra hungry, I will get an extra cheeseburger and I will eat every single thing by myself.
If you ever come to Portugal and you go to the city of Porto, which is the second largest city in Europe, Porto has the world's most expensive McDonald's. Mm-hmm. You go in there, it's 3 stories. You walk in, and it has giant chandeliers and everything. This thing is absolutely beautiful. Wow. You got to check it out. Yes. So, all right. Now I interrupted you.
My McDonald's, the ice cream machine's always broken and somebody's fighting in the back.
That's what adds extra flavor, the broken ice cream machine and the fact that somebody may catch you with an elbow in McDonald's. Or is that Waffle House?
Both.
All right, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Alrighty, so our oddity of the day. A bridezilla known as Canadian Susan attempted to charge guests $1,500 to attend her wedding. Before I dive into this, I would just like to say, for most things, I don't like the term bridezilla, but for this story, bridezilla very much fits the situation. But most of the time, I don't like the word bridezilla. So I'm just going to put that out there before I read the rest of this. So, okay.
All right, let's hear this.
Alrighty.
So $1,500.
Yes. So some women have been known to morph into monstrous shadows of their former self in their quest to plan the perfect wedding. These women are called bridezillas. But one story of a bride that emerged recently has gone viral, just might leave them all in her confetti-specked dust. Susan, a bride-to-be, posted a lengthy rant to Facebook explaining why her lavish wedding was canceled just 4 days before the event was meant to take place. While the veracity of the post is difficult to determine, the details are so outlandish that it could very well be a case of truth being stranger than fiction, especially when you consider the reason she cited for calling off her wedding was that her guests refused to pay her $1,500 to attend. So this is I believe this is a quote from the Facebook post. I specifically asked for cash gifts. How could we have our wedding that we dreamed of without proper funding? She wrote in a since deleted post. We'd sacrificed so much and only asked each guest for around $1,500. We talked to a few people who even promised us to make our dream come true. Susan, who is now known as Canadian Susan on social media, went on to describe her relationship with her fiancé, with whom she has a son, as a, quote, fairy tale, which was why she wanted to organize an extravagant wedding. After consulting with a psychic, they decided to hold the event in Aruba. The only problem was that the affair would cost the couple $60,000 and they only had $15,000 saved up. That's when it occurred to her to ask the guests to pitch in to pay for her wedding. $1,500 a head, which she called clearly not a lot. And then, so after the first round of invitations was set out, the couple only received 8 RSVPs. Susan resent the invitations in a desperate plea for more money. Then people started to back out, one by one, including the maid of honor, who had promised to pledge $5,000. Susan says that's when the groom suggested they ditch the Aruba plan and get married in Las Vegas instead. Needless to say, this didn't quite fit with Susan's plans for a, quote, Kardashian wedding. At that point, the wedding was called off.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot. A lot to digest.
Okay. This hooker here, I called her a hooker because she's pimping. She's trying to pimp all her friends and family. $1,500.
That's a lot of money to ask for somebody.
Okay, $1,500. You still got to get a dress. You still got to get hotel accommodations. It doesn't seem like she's picking up anything.
Right.
Okay.
If you wanted a wedding in Aruba, why had you only saved up $15,000 when you knew it was going to cost you $60,000?
Newsflash, you can go to Aruba a heck of a lot cheaper than that. I'm going to let y'all know. Maybe she needed to go on Travelocity and cut that down, and maybe she'd be still married.
Hotels.com.
Maybe talk to Captain Obvious or someone, because this whole 15, I think she was trying to get it, because think about it. It wasn't like, hey, 2 or 3 people, mom, dad, aunt, and uncle. She's asking everybody, drop $1,500 or you can't come to the wedding. Well, if I got that invitation and she's like, what is her name again? Gold digger, Canadian gold digger. What is her name again?
Canadian Susan, but they did find out that she's actually not Canadian and she lives in the United States, but they still call her Canadian Susan.
Because just like her name, her suggestion is crazy, and she's crazy as well. Yeah. If someone told me, in order for you to come to my wedding, you got to pay $1,500, guess what?
I'm not coming.
I'm not sending a gift. I'm not sending flowers. I'm not even sending a thank you card. Mm-hmm. It's like, deuces, I'm out. I am not going to this wedding.
I know a lot of people now do like honeymoon funds. And so instead of gifts, they'll ask people to donate money to their honeymoon funds.
Yes.
But this is crazy. Not everybody has $1,500 to give to go to a wedding. in Aruba.
Okay.
And not even that, you've got to pay your way to go to Aruba after that.
Yes. Okay. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. First off, red flags. She wanted her Kardashian wedding. Red flag number 2. She said they only had a certain amount of money, which wasn't a lot of money.
No.
But she wants everyone else to pay her lifestyle, which is crazy. Number 2, my man I know you have a kid with her, but this is a sign. Sometime, when in doubt, throw that Canadian girl out. Not actual Canadians, the fake Canadian. Toss her to the side.
Yeah.
She canceled the wedding anyway.
Yeah,
Dude, you're getting off.
I believe they are not together anymore. I think there was an update to it. I don't think they're together anymore. I think she broke up with them. I'll check that.
Don't even be heartbroken. Don't be sad. Move on. You canceled the wedding. That means how much love is involved. She's talking about she wants her honeymoon in Aruba. If she can't get her honeymoon in Aruba, the whole thing is off?
Yeah.
No. Okay. Those are red flags for any guy or woman out there. If you are marrying your significant other, that significant other, man, woman, man, cat, dog, rat, whatever it is, whoever you're marrying, if she's putting on claims like, hey, if I don't get my Kardashian wedding, I don't get my Kardashian honeymoon, this wedding is off, you are better off without her.
Yeah.
Go ahead, what are you going to say?
She broke off her engagement after her husband suggested getting married in Las Vegas. And it has now been said that she is now setting off on a 2-month backpacking trip through South America. She's probably using that money that people did pay to pay her.
Probably on
trip
the
to South
probably on
America.
the run somewhere. She probably didn't refund anybody's money, and she was like, "Let me just
head on out of here."
This is called a smoke signal. I'm the Canadian creeper over here. Everyone's looking for her in Canada, but she's out there backpacking through Tijuana somewhere, hiding out. No, listen. I wouldn't marry her. Matter of fact, soon when I saw this, we need to see other people. That's my invitation to her. I'm gonna tell a side story on this one. We're gonna protect the innocent in this one. But many years ago, I knew a guy, and my ex brother-in-law was a jeweler, and he made very nice high-end jewelry. Mm-hmm. And the reason why that comes into play is this guy, he had this girl of his dreams, and he proposed to her, and he spent all the salary on this ring. He spent everything. He spent most of what he had saved up on this ring, and he bust open the ring. Will you marry me? And her answer was, I swear to you, not if that's the ring you're giving me. So he went back, he took it back to the jeweler, and he asked them, begged them for a different ring. And the jeweler was nice enough to exchange it for another ring. Mm-hmm. And he came back and he's like, how about this ring here? And she was like, no, absolutely not. So he came to me because he knew my brother-in-law was a jeweler, and asked, could he make a ring that fits what her specifications was? And my brother-in-law told them yes. So long story short, they're planning the wedding. They're planning the honeymoon, which was in the Caribbean. And she decided she needed jet ski instructions on how to ride a jet ski and everything. And it was like a few weeks from the wedding, And he comes home and she has a note waiting for him that she ran off with the jet ski instructor. True story. I swear to you, this is a true story.
That's literally sounds like a TV show or a movie.
It does. And I will not say the gentleman's name because he's a really great guy. He had pretty much a nervous breakdown over this.
Hello.
But actually, this is the best thing could ever happen to this guy, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Because if you go to the woman, the man, the person of your dreams, and you put your whole life savings into a ring, and you come out and you say, hey, will you marry me? And the answer is not if that's the ring you are going to present me with, and that's everything you have, you've made a wrong choice in life.
Yep.
This is a wake-up call. This is someone telling you, hey, bro, you made a mistake. This is not the girl or the guy that you want to be with, because they're in this marriage. They're not in this for you. They're in this for what they can get. And it doesn't matter, male, female, it doesn't matter. When you're talking about making a commitment for your life, it needs to go in for the right reasons. And if someone is going into your marriage for all the wrong reasons, you don't want to be with them. I'm out.
Well, I hope that Canadian Susan's ex-fiance finds somebody who truly deserves him and he has a happy, happy life.
It's not Canadian Susan, it's Canadian Gold Digger.
But with that, guys, we're going to close out the show. Thank you for tuning in to the Andrew Tate Show presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you on Monday.
See ya.
Peace.
I love it.